Greetings, friends, and welcome to the woods. I had an opportunity to enjoy a theater experience the other day, and I went to see a mystery movie, which is you don't know what you're going to see before you step into it. And I was not unsurprised that the universe had decided to center me into a horror movie because that seems to happen to me quite a bit. I think that it's a measure of how disturbed that we are as a species right now, as a culture, this culture, that horror seems to be one of the dominant genres that we're seeing everywhere. Uh, so for this movie Monday, I want to share what I was able to discern from the story, from the movie Primate, and also from the movie We Bury the Dead, which I saw several days prior. Uh, don't ask me why. They both had a very poignant message about what scares us, but more metaphor than straightforward. With the movie Primate, it's about a monkey who gets rabies and turns against the family that has that adopted him and who he was a loving household family member of. And it plays as kind of an old, for those of you who are older, the old Yella story where the dog gets rabies and turns against the family. It's similar to that, but more horrifying. I think Old Yellow was more poignant in its depiction of the beloved companion who turns on you than this was. This one truly portrays the primate as becoming a monster. But I think as much as this is a monster movie and overcoming the monster, and that's a theme that you see in a lot of adventure films as well as horror. I think that the theme of this one is a little deeper than that. I think what we're trying to process, what we're trying to understand as a people, is how these trusted fixtures in our life have been revealed to be or seem to turn against us. And by that, I mean government, I mean religion, I mean science, I mean all of these parts of our life that we thought were there for us. We trust this, we know this, we understand this, and suddenly we're discovering that not only is this not what we thought, but it's corrupted to the core, it's diseased and corrupted to the core, has turned against us, and is attacking us. We trusted, we nurtured, we took care of, we provide for. It's part of our life. We're there for it. It should be there for us. And suddenly it's a monster that is incredibly strong and powerful, more so than you would think. And despite the fact that it's diseased and dying, it is attacking us. I think that's the psyche process that fueled this storyline. Metaphor. And as with all good horror, it shows the way out. It shows a solution. And in the case of this story, the solution is the family coming together and working together. There is an implication within the storyline that if the parent, if the caretaker, the parent, had been more responsible, this wouldn't have developed into the big problem. Just as there's a perception within our society that if the older folks had been more responsible and better caretakers of our society, that things wouldn't have evolved the way that they have into this monstrous situation that's just tearing everybody apart and killing people. And whether or not that's the truth doesn't matter. In the context of the story, the solution is the family coming together in mutual love and support to overcome the problem, and that being the ultimate and only solution. Now, it hasn't escaped me that within the context of the family, the mother is dead and the father is deaf. Again, symbology, how the female element in our society has been the feminine element of nurturing. The mother who stays home and her primary focus is raising the young is gone, replaced by another breadwinner, necessary because of the current political, social, and economic climate. It has not escaped me the father was deaf, showing an inability to be as connected to those around him as he needs to be. Deaf to the problem, what the developing problem, and needing extra support in overcoming that. That did not escape me. Again, metaphor. Whether or not it's true, again, up for debate, but that's what's being processed. That's what's being worked on. And so when the story plays out and it hits you at a subconscious level, what's being conveyed is what's familiar to you has turned against you. You need to let go of it. You need to make an end of it, or it will destroy you. And the best way to do that is to unite as a family and to take care of each other. It's not a bad message. Now, this is a complete flip from We Bury the Dead. In many ways, although it may not be quite as graphic, well, that's debatable. It is. They're both graphic. We Bury the Dead is dark and sardonic. It has a very pessimistic take. We Bury the Dead is about the aftermath of a zombie apocalypse and those who have to clean up the aftermath. They have a hold on it. It happened. They have a hold on it, and now the people who have to come in to make peace. It's about making peace with what's happened. It's about this catastrophe struck. The survivors have to figure out internally how they're going to react. How to heal, how to come back together and heal from what's occurred. It's all about grief and grieving. And again, it's reflecting what we're seeing here. We have quite a mass of deaths that's happened worldwide and happened within our culture as a result of some of the choices that were made. And those who survive, those who continue, need to decide how they're going to respond to that, how they're going to go on, how they're going to let go of what was and step into what is. And this storyline was all about, again, coming to terms with that. The story takes you on a literal journey, a figurative and a literal journey of, what has happened here, why has it happened, and how do we move forward? How do we go on? How do we closure to the past? And again, that's something we're dealing with. We can't fully and with all of our spirit step into what comes next until we let go of the past, until we let go of that which is already dead, dying and dead and gone. We have to do that if we're going to step forward into what comes next. If we cling to the past, if we cling to the dead, we're not going to be able to live. We need to take anything good that's left, the future, children, babies, the good that's left, move forward into the future, which we see within the storyline. You pick up the future and you go, and you leave the past behind. It's hopeful. It comes from a dark, dark place, but it's hopeful. And what it shows me is people on a subconscious level, on a psyche level, they're working through the loss. We've moved out of, oh no, the scary thing is going to come, to the scary thing is here, to scary things happened. Now, how do we get over it and move forward? So, while both of these things are truly horror and horrifying, and I'm not recommending it to anybody who's sensitive or who doesn't like dealing with darkness and gore, they do have a message of hope, of survival, and moving forward, which is encouraging because for a lot of horror movies moving up into this year, I haven't seen that. I've seen a lot of acceptance of death and then dying. I've seen a lot of the past is gone and we'll never have anything as good and it's all going to be terrible and survival from here on. And it's not the truth. It's not a great message, but it tells me that within us we've been very, very troubled. And now we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. That's a good thing. And welcome to the woods.